Hi everyone, good day to you. This is Ronnie bringing you more common sense advice on the raw food diet. What I'm going to talk to you today is the OMAD diet. What is the OMAD diet? It is 1 meal a day. OMAD, 1 meal a day. Have you been trying that out? Have you been experimenting with it? Have you had any success with it? Feel free to leave some comments below. But when I think about this diet, what I immediately attach that to is ketogenic diet and intermittent fasting. So what I mean by those is the ketogenic diet is a very low carb diet in which people are essentially trying to reduce the amount of carbohydrates they eat to the point that their body's basically going into a state called ketosis, where it's running on ketones rather than on blood sugar. And they supposedly believe that this is healthier, this is better for the body. And intermittent fasting is when you reduce the time window in which you eat. Now, we already have a time window in which we eat, which is the 16 hours that we are awake, but they want to reduce that to less time. And why would they do that? Because when we are not eating, we are healing, our body's processing, digesting, and our body can only digest efficiently if we're not eating at the same time as digesting. So we need to take a gap between eating. We can't just eat all day long and expect that to work out for us. It won't be as good. We're better off eating a meal and then taking a break to allow for the digestive process to happen. But is this a necessary thing to do or a healthy thing to do? Well, let's look at the keto diet. It's a diet that's very high in fat. It's not a healthy diet. It's healthier maybe for the person that's doing it than what they were doing before, but it's not the healthiest diet. And the main reason for that is that it's a diet that is very low, completely deficient in carbohydrates. And in the low carb movement, they kind of demonize carbohydrates as being such a problem. And yet, look in any medical textbook, any nutrition textbook, and it'll tell you clearly carbohydrates are the preferred fuel source for humans. Carbohydrates are the preferred fuel source for humans. If you look at the longest lived populations, the healthiest and longest lived populations, they were studied and they're included in a book called The Blue Zones, and there was a study as part of that. But what that book basically showed, and what that information showed, was that all those healthiest populations, one of the key things that linked them all was their diet was 70% and above of carbohydrates, and that's whole food carbohydrates, not processed or processed sugar or processed refined carbohydrates, but whole food carbohydrates. So the ketogenic diet is not a healthy diet. Therefore, it's no wonder that people would want to take a break and do intermittent fasting and would feel better doing that if they're on the keto diet. Now, if you're on a raw vegan diet where you're eating the healthiest foods possible, where you're eating the easiest to digest foods possible, fruits and vegetables, do you need to have an intermittent fasting window? Do you need to just do 1 meal a day? Well, the answer really is no, because your fruit is digesting so quickly. It's so easy to digest. There's so little in terms of toxins or anything else that have to be processed out of it. And the sugar can be uptaken rapidly to start fueling your brain, fueling your blood cells, and fueling all the cells of the body. So there's really no need for us to have a big intermittent fasting window. Also, we actually need time to eat all the fruit that we need, to eat all the calories that we need. We need to have more than 1 meal. It's very hard to eat 1 meal as a fruitarian or as a raw vegan who focuses on fruit, because you would have to probably take either you're going to drink 2 big smoothies or a really big smoothie, or you're going to have to eat for an hour or 2 hours consistently, probably like 2 hours, 3 hours, depending. So it's very hard to do that, which suggests that it's probably not something that we're really designed to do. We really need to eat over a longer period. And if you think about it, we're awake for 16 hours a day. Maybe that's a clue that we're meant to be awake and we're meant to be doing things throughout the day, including eating. So I don't ascribe to any limitation of when I can eat fruit. So for example, I don't not eat fruit in the morning. I don't not eat fruit at night. I don't not eat fruit after this or before this or whatever. I'm not a big fan of food combining. I don't think it's a really big deal. But a lot of people think food combining is a very important thing. Well, I'm not that big a fan of it. Now, can you, as a raw vegan, is there any other time when you might do one meal a day? Or as a vegan? Well, yes, there are people that are doing, believe it or not, low carb vegan diet, low carb raw vegan diet, where they're having meals of large amounts of fat, with usually some kind of processed fat. There was a guy called Vegetable Police that was doing that for a while on YouTube, and he would make a kind of yogurt, nut yogurt or something, and he would have this in a big salad as his kind of, and a green juice or something, and that was his meal of the day. And I just think that's really misguided. I think all these people are really misguided. Carbohydrates are the healthiest fuel source for our body. You need to get enough carbohydrates to feel good, to be optimally healthy. There is a requirement in order for you to be optimally healthy, you need to hit a certain amount of carbohydrates. You need to actually restore your glycogen with carbohydrates optimally. And is that going to make you fat and everything else and make your blood sugar go up? Well, no, it won't. Because your body, in a healthful state, is designed to process carbohydrates efficiently and process simple sugars from fruit primarily. So there's nothing to worry about with carbohydrates. Do carbohydrates make people fat? Well, if you eat carbohydrates, the thing that makes people fat is carbohydrates and fat. If you eat both of those things to excess, you will get fat. But the body is storing the fat, not the carbohydrates. It uses the carbohydrates. But it is the combination of both that leads to you eating enough calories to gain weight and store the fat. Does that make sense? I hope it does. Well, if any of you are trying the OMAD diet, then let us know how it's going. I know that people have experimented with it a little bit. The only person I know that's done it even one time as a fruitarian or as a fruit-based raw vegan is Grant Campbell. And Grant told me that he was, for a while, there was some place in Bangkok that he would go, a hotel, and it had a big fruit buffet, and he would just go there every day. And he experimented with eating one meal in a day. And to be honest, there's not that many people that can eat as much as Grant in a meal. So, especially for people who are beginning and trying this out, I don't think that that's going to be something you'll be able to do. I don't think many people, many fruitarians, could sit at a table with Grant and eat as much as Grant. I just haven't seen it done. He's got a big appetite and he's an ultra marathon runner, so he does a lot of activity as well, hence boosting his appetite. Well, I hope some of that has been clear to you. I'm not a big fan of intermittent fasting or OMAD or whatever, because I just think that what you need to focus on is going towards the healthiest foods, the healthiest diet, which is a fruits and vegetable raw diet. And when you do that, you don't need to worry about the time of day you eat and stopping eating at sundown and don't eat in the morning and don't eat after this, don't eat before that, because you're not, the same dietary rules don't apply because you're not eating unhealthy foods. Your body is designed for fruits and vegetables, primarily for fruit. Your body is designed to consume, digest fruit very, very efficiently. So don't think that the same rules apply from other foods that apply to fruit. So thanks a lot for watching today. If you want to see another video about this topic, well, about carbohydrates, we've put one up in the FruitFest blog. So that's fruitfest.co.uk. I'll put a link below. You can find the blog on that page, /fruitfest-blog, I think it is, but I'll put the link below so you can see that. And also, if you want to get a free recipe book that gives you free recipes about the raw vegan diet compiled by professional chefs, that gives you a meal plan and that gives you a guide on how to buy fruit for a raw vegan diet and buy raw vegan foods, then go to fruitfest.co.uk and you can get an ebook completely for free, and in return for signing up for our email list. And we also send you out emails with healthy tips about, surviving or thriving on a raw vegan diet. So check that out at fruitfest.co.uk. And if you're interested in coming to the festival, then fruitfest.co.uk/registration. I'll put a link down below. The festival is going to be a really fantastic time for you. If you've never been to a fruit festival or you're learning about this diet and you're struggling, it's really the place to go. It's really the place to come. So come along and check out the fruit festival this year. But thanks a lot for watching. Share the video if you like. My conclusion, 1 meal a day, something you might want to try out, but don't get too dogmatic about these things, because at the end of the day, if you are on a fruits and vegetable diet, it doesn't get much better than that, and your body consumes those, digests those so easily, so efficiently, that you're not going to get an enormous benefit from reducing your eating window to 1 meal a day. Thank you very much. This is Ronnie with some common sense advice on the raw food diet. We'll see you in the next video.